Hey everyone, welcome back to the WoW Idea. Today we're diving into Blizzard's response to the ongoing issues with Mythic Plus dungeons in the War Within. Ion Hazzikostas recently shared some important insights with PC Gamer about how Blizzard plans to tackle the growing concerns in the Mythic Plus scene. So let's break it down and see if these changes are going to make a difference. So, right off the bat, looks like right now we have scaling issues. So, from when I read this, and from what I'm gathering, as key levels rise, the scaling of the enemy health and damage becomes overwhelming, making the content feel more punishing than rewarding, and especially for more casual or mid tier players. It feels like a wall that only the top tier players can climb. There's also a fix fatigue. Originally, it's designed to add a variety of challenge, and now it feels more like a chore. So, affixes like Spiteful and Explosive can feel frustrating and force groups to bring specific classes to deal with them. So, there's just a sense that affixes don't always add up meaningfully in a as far as difficulty, or just it's really just an annoyance. And personally, it really is. Um, it sometimes detracts me from doing Mythic Plus personally. There's also class imbalance. Certain specs dominate Mythic Plus meta, making group composition feel restrictive. And so Ian admitted that class balance in Mythic Plus is an ongoing issue, and many specs just feel left behind. So this has led to a lack of diversity in group compositions, especially in higher keys. At least Ian acknowledged that these issues are there and pointed out that Mythic Plus has become too punishing and some affixes aren't achieving their intended purpose. Next, we have an affix rework. So thankfully, Ian talked about how Blizzard is reviewing how affixes are designed in the first place. And so their goal is to make them more engaging and less punishing. They're at least considering reducing the number of active affixes at higher key levels instead of rotating them in a more meaningful way. There's also a better dungeon pool variety. They're evaluating how the dungeon rotation system is. They hear the players' voiced concerns that the dungeon pool lacks variety, and sometimes it just feels stale. So they might introduce more dynamic rotations or even revisit older dungeons with fresh mechanics. Now, this is a hot take. I think the dungeons are very diverse as is, but I just think that the mechanics need to be revisited and redone. So a little bit of flavor. Now, that doesn't mean add an affix, but I just would like to see the bosses play out a little bit differently. There's also class and spec balancing. So there should be more frequent and targeted balance updates that are on the table. And Ian stressed that Blizzard wants to reduce the dominance of certain classes to ensure more specs feel viable at high level Mythic Plus runs. There's also talk about adjusting loot rewards to make sure higher keys feel more rewarding. And Blizzard recognizes that efforts should feel more matched with meaningful rewards. So overall, Blizzard seems to be taking a more hands-on approach, but where these changes are enough remains to be seen. And last but not least, let's talk about whether these changes will actively solve the core problems of Mythic Plus. So first thing that I'm thinking about is the affix rework impact. So will simply tweaking the affixes make Mythic Plus more enjoyable, or do they need a complete overhaul? And a lot of players, again, to wrap it up, have express affixes have been a pain point for a while. So again, personally for me, I do agree with that. The second point is dungeon pool improvements, which let's see if it addresses the issue of changing a dungeon pool. Will it be repetitive or imbalanced? I don't know. As far as class balance, they promised, again, more frequent balancing before, but can they deliver this time? So the community has been burned before by slow balance changes, so let's just see if that happens. And of course, last but not least, player burnout. This is something that's never discussed in any Wowhead article. It's not a big point, but I'm glad that Ian mentioned that Blizzard wants to reduce burnout. Will it actually help players feel more motivated to push keys without feeling overwhelmed? So overall, Blizzard's ideas sound promising, but we've heard similar promises before, and it's going to take a lot more time than surface level tweaks to make Mythic Content Plus both challenging and fun. So overall, I want to know your thoughts on Blizzard's plan for Mythic Plus. Do you think they are making real improvements, or it's just more talk? Drop your, I don't know, ask your questions. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more from the TheWoWIdea. I'll be keeping a close eye on these updates and bringing you more discussions as they happen. See you next time.